Whatever position you find yourself in today, we put ourselves there by a series of thoughts and actions. Thoughts turn into things. That's very important to know. So let's look at both sides of it. For people who think negative thoughts, it turns into negative things. And the direct opposite is true for those who think positive thoughts. It turns into positive things. That's the deal. It's as simple as that, folks. Thoughts become things. So the one glaring question for all of us always is, on a daily basis, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? Because this is a fact of life. This is biblical. This is spiritual. This is written. This is philosophical. This is the law of the universe. This is just the way it is. Now, and here the cold part, folks. It don't matter if you believe me or not. It does not matter if you have never been explained this or not. And it does not matter if you think it works in your life or not.
Woo! Let's go. Good morning, dreamers. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. Let me get this cleaned a little bit. It's a little ugly. It's a little gloomy over here, but the journey continues. Still fired up, ready to go ahead and get the day rocking and rolling. Lady Boss, Nikki, Cedric in the building. Happy birthday, my brother, in 2 days. What a special day coming up. JoJo in the building, getting the workout, getting the routines knocked out early. We got business booming. Things are flourishing. What a time to be alive. I love to see it. Awesome. So, fam, today, Johnny, let's go. It's good to see you. So, 1111 fam, paint your vision. I've got a fantastic topic coming in for today. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about thoughts, right? And how our thoughts, how everything that we think about it sends out a frequency. It sends out a vibration out to the universe. So this is why they say thoughts become things. So I've got a great training. Let's get a little bit of gratitude down below. What's everybody grateful for coming into today as we go ahead and kick off the Wednesday, middle of the week? Happy hump day. Drop it down below and let's go ahead and get started. Let me get IG tapped in and it's game time. Thoughts become things. Boom. Let's go. So grateful to be alive. So thankful for God. So grateful to be on here with each and every single one of you. So grateful to be able to get up and even through the crazy weather, to be able to get through the morning rituals, the morning routine, growing, reading every single day. We're journaling. We're getting very intentional about the vision, about the goal still. 430. Look at this. 432 days later, still getting the vision. So drop down your challenge. Let's see where everybody's at today, because I'm telling you, what happens behind closed doors ends up getting praised in public. So all of the deep work, this is where it all happens. Great for another 24. Absolutely. Healthy life. Love to see it. So let's go ahead and get started. You ready? Great topic for today. New beginnings day 422. Congratulations. Love to see it. All right, so let's get into it. First things first. I want to give everybody a visual. Okay, I really want to get everybody into the mode to understand and to see how it is that we're almost living in prehistoric times. I'm talking about days back with the saber-toothed tigers, right? With the mammoths. Let me teach you something, because when I heard this morning, this gave such a trigger to me, and it made so much sense, because the fact of the matter is, this is what 97% of people are living and dealing with every single day. So this is a topic that I know is not just going to hit one or two people. I know this is going to hit almost nearly anybody who listens to this call, because I go through the same things as well. Emily in the building, it's good to see you. Let's go. Here we go. All right. So think about this, okay? Back in the days when we were primitive, when we were in caves, we were literally lighting fires we had to hunt to go eat. Watch this, okay? The stress that we feel as humans, the same stress as being in a cage and heating up our fire and having a saber-toothed tiger outside of the cave, that same stress right? That fight or flight symptoms that we all have in our brain is almost the same stress that's triggered every single day when most of us wake up. How interesting is this? We almost get the same stress chemicals, the same stress cortisol from the primitive days all the way until now, strictly from the thoughts that we think in the morning, right? How many of us in the morning wake up and we know somebody that wakes up running straight into the past, running straight into the negativity, running straight into the problems that have been going on over the past couple of days, past couple of weeks? And guess what that does? The second that we wake up, the second that our body's actually up, we're knocking our body right back out of balance. Took me long enough to realize this, but eventually it started to truly make sense. So watch this. Let's go ahead and dig a little bit deeper, okay? The body does not know the difference because when we hold an emotion subconsciously, it does things to the body. So watch this. Embracing anxiety, you know what happens to the body? This is why we experience what is called panic attacks. Drop a 3 down below if you guys have ever had a panic attack in your life. I've had a couple. Been through some crazy scenarios. Had a couple of panic attacks. And I never understood why it is that happens, right? Maybe before getting in front of speaking in front of a lot of people, maybe something serious happens in life. You see, embracing anxiety, holding that emotion and sitting in it is what creates a panic attack without us even controlling it. Lady Boss Nikki, wow. You see this? This is deep when you know the science behind it, okay? The body doesn't know the difference, watch this, between a memory and what actually happens, okay? This is one of the biggest parts of the whole training today. Let me teach you this again. The body does not know the difference between a memory and something that actually happened. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example right now to show you and prove to you how powerful thoughts can influence our feelings in our body and literally neuroencode different areas of our body. Let me teach you. I've done this exercise before, but I want to do it again so you can see how powerful our thoughts can trigger our body and how they can literally debilitate us. Watch this. Imagine, just close your eyes for a second, visualize with me. Imagine we're all sitting in a white coffin, a clear glass box coffin. And we're sitting in there and we've got nothing but swim trunks on, nothing but a bathing suit. And I want you guys to think about if we were to dump, what are you more afraid of? Are you more afraid of cockroaches, bugs, or spiders? Let me know. Which one of those really gives you the icks, really gets you all tight and tensed up? Now, I want you to imagine whatever that is, if I were to go ahead and dump all of those all over your body, just wearing a bathing suit, just wearing a bikini, how does that make you feel? Snakes, just like, ugh. It gets me all freaked out just thinking about it. This is neuroencoding. You see how thoughts, we can literally be sitting here right now and we're all tensed up. Maybe our hands are sweating. Maybe our armpits are getting a little bit drippy. This is the power of thoughts. This is the power of neuroencoding. Thoughts become things. Because you know what happens with thoughts? A lot of the times when we're sitting in anxiety, it's easy to go ahead and branch off into one negative thought to lead into another, to go ahead and sit in that pain, sit in that negative emotion. So pay attention, watch this. Every time that we remember betrayal, every time that we remember depression, every time that we remember these negative events, it's almost like it's occurring again. We're experiencing the same scenario 49 times a day. And when you realize how crazy that is, things start to shift. Think about it. Every time that we think about a negative emotion, every time that we think about a negative event, we're literally replaying that negative feeling. We're literally allowing that feeling to sit and get glued inside of our body. And I can't tell you how debilitating that is, because here's the truth. Every one of us on this call, we probably know exactly what that feels like. We've all had times where this feeling has literally almost felt like a cover over us to where we can't even move. We become what seems powerless. You know what's interesting? The body can even get stuck in the past. This is why people that wake up and they immediately remember the past, they immediately remember everything that went wrong, they get what's called stuck. And now guess what? The whole rest of the day, there's no action being taken. They're sitting in a low vibration. They're sitting in a dull energy. And guess what type of results manifest from that vibration? Nothing very fun, nothing very attractive. How do I know? Because I've been there multiple times in my life. So I know what that feels like. Sitting in depression, sitting in anxiety, being anxious. I can tell you right now, literally, go study Joe Dispenza. You'll realize this. This literally changes the biology of our genes. Seriously. Sitting in stress, sitting in anxiety, this cortisol chemical changes the biology of our genes. Why do you think some people, dis-ease, the body's at dis-ease too long creates dis-ease? Why do you think disease is so common everywhere in the world? Because there's so many people that are causing themselves dis-ease, and that sitting too long creates disease. Okay? Absolutely. That's why I speak my mind and my heart. This is real, right? Everybody has things going on. It's so important to communicate what's going on. It's so important to really go ahead and speak the mind, right? At the end of the day, letting emotions sit bottled up inside does no good for anybody. Even crying. As men in this type of society, men were taught to not cry. Men were taught to hold in our emotions and be strong. Well, if you really want to know the truth, it's actually very crucial to be able to let out and be able to feel emotions. It's okay to cry. In fact, if you want to go through the transformation process, I can promise you right now, none of us are going to be able to get to the other side without getting that emotional. There's no way. That's the only way the shift really happens. When I was sitting in my car, 30K in debt, just lost my sister, it took me getting that emotional to really make a decision. Say, you know what? Enough is enough. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to sit broken anymore. I'm ready to make a change for my life. I know what's inside. I know the greatness that's inside every single one of us. But it takes being able to believe it. Because we're all human. So there's nothing wrong with shedding emotions. There's nothing wrong with feeling. In fact, there's something powerful being able to feel and being able to transmute that. That's exactly what I did. Over these years, I can't tell you how many no's that I got, how many haters popped in my DMs, how many people around me externally told me it's never going to be able to happen. But I turned that pain into passion. I turned that into fuel to go ahead and fuel myself forward. Okay. The next piece I want to talk about, right, is this. This is crucial. Okay. You see, we've all just established that we can turn on our stress just by thinking. I get stressed out thinking about bugs, snakes, or spiders. It stresses me out the second I think about it. So we've already established that. Now, check this out. Watch this. So many of us have been conditioned to think that we need something from the outside to be able to fix the inside. A doctor will teach you this. If we're talking about chronic conditions, this isn't necessarily just for a doctor. This is literally a lifestyle change. You see, when some people get certain sicknesses, they go through chronic conditions that they require a lifestyle change. It requires them to go ahead and start hitting the gym, maybe changing their diet completely. But this is called a chronic lifestyle change. Chronic conditions require lifestyle change. So watch this. A person, we have to go from the old state of mind, the old body, to a literally completely new state. And the only way that happens is getting uncomfortable getting comfortable being uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable getting outside of the known. We all can agree with that. Okay. But here's what's also stressful: sitting inside of the known. In fact, there's more stress sitting inside of the known than there is getting out into the unknown. Right or wrong? How many of us feel good being comfortable? How many of us feel good knowing that we can do more, knowing that we can produce more? It's a sick feeling. It's not a great feeling. But I can tell you what gets us and allows us to get to the other side is knowing that, our mentor, he calls it pseudo-psychogenesis. Pseudopsychogenesis. Essentially, what that means is cutting off, killing the old version of us so we can step into a completely new body, mind, and spirit. Getting out of survival mode. You see, when we're in stress, we all like to cling on to sadness. We all like to live in fight or flight mode. In reality, to really get in this creative, this imaginative state, there's not a whole lot that gets created in fight or flight mode. In fact, nothing gets created in fight or flight survival mode. Nothing. Nothing but stress, anxiety, or depression. Most of the time. So one of the easiest ways that we can start to get into the feeling, that we can start changing our thoughts, is realizing this. If all of our attention is waiting on the outside world to change the inside world, we're going to be waiting a long time. You know why? Because we're so conditioned to go ahead and use all of our senses to go ahead and shift what's happening on the inside. Meaning if we can't see it, it's not real. If we don't taste it, it's not actually there. If we don't hear it, it's not possible. You know why? Because all of us are looking outside to go ahead and get this balance. But what I started to realize at the end of the day, it takes being able to get on the inside to go ahead and find true balance. And here's how we do this. Many are trying to force and predict the outcomes in life, and we feel powerless. We're competing and fighting forces to go ahead and get what we want. But the second that we're able to go ahead and take responsibility, the second we're able to go ahead and take real responsibility for our behaviors, our actions, this is when we're able to go ahead and shift to get back into balance. And the problem is, unfortunately, many are waiting for crises to change, when in reality, we don't have to learn from pain. We don't have to learn from suffering. We can learn from joy, and we can go ahead and learn from inspiration. So as I go ahead and end off today, a couple different things to think about. In The Science of Getting Rich, one of the most important chapters he talks about is chapter 7. And inside of this chapter, he goes about the importance of gratitude. Remember, we're not looking for the outside to go ahead and fix the inside. We're looking for the internal to go ahead and shift our external world. And one of the easiest ways to do that is with gratitude. 10 minutes of gratitude every day can change the game. And think about drugs. You know how many people take drugs that we can't pronounce the name? Essentially, what this does, it just gives us power to it. We're giving power to the drug without doing any deep work, without changing our thoughts. And to go and end off this call, this is what Joe Dispenza talks about. Every day that we're able to go ahead and change our thoughts, we're able to go ahead and change the way we think and visualize ourselves succeeding at work, visualize ourselves being an inspiration to people, visualize ourselves creating a better connection with God, visualize ourselves being an impact and being of service. We start to attract all of these things in our life, and we're literally changing our genes inside of our body just by the way that we think, just by the way that we physically visualize. So my last visual for today is this. I'm an athlete, so this one really stuck out to me. In baseball, if we're sitting on first base and we're looking to go ahead and run and get to second base, the analogy is this. None of us are going to be able to get to second base if we still have 1 foot on first base. Think about that. We're never going to be able to get to second base if we still have 1 foot sitting in the old story, if we still have 1 foot holding on to the old self, the old beliefs, the old negative self-talk. We're never going to be able to get around to home to go ahead and score. So my biggest emphasis for today, let's go ahead and let's get both feet off of third base. Let's take that step. Let's go run into the unknown, because that is where the magic happens. That is where true dreams are able to manifest into reality. So if you're ready to go ahead and take that step, you're ready to go ahead and make the run and run the play, drop some threes down below, smash that like button, and let me see who's ready to go ahead and step into the highest version of us. Let me see who's ready to go ahead and end this year off with a bang, with breakthroughs, elevation, joy, transformation, gratitude, abundance, blessings in all different areas of our life. Because that old story is being bodied, the line is being drawn in the sand, and today is the day to go ahead and make the most. Because remember, today is a day that we've never seen before, and a day that we'll never see you again. So let's go ahead and make the most of it. Remember, if nobody told you today, you are powerful, you are a leader, and every thought that we think, believe it or not, it becomes things, whether that be on the positive side, whether it be on the negative. We create what it is that we think. So let's go out and be intentional with our thoughts. Remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. I love you, fam. Let's go out and turn these dreams into reality. It's game time. Let's get to work.